Everybody, welcome to Wednesday night. My name is Tammy Holder, and we are so happy that you're joining us for the Broward Center's Broadway Chat Series. With me tonight is my fabulous colleague,
Tim Maines. Welcome, everybody.
All right, Tim, we had a really fun guest last week. Tell us a little bit about who came to visit us last week.
Yeah, last week we were thrilled to welcome Leanna Hunt from shows like Newsies, Mamma Mia, Wicked. We had a really great conversation with her, a lot of fun. If you missed it live, be sure to check it out on our Facebook page in the video section. We have all of our previous episodes, so check it out. But tonight we have another exciting guest, Tammy, who is joining us tonight.
All right, so I am thrilled tonight to welcome a good friend and fabulous human. This is Mr. Eric Sciotto, and he has done a lot of Broadway shows and done a lot of work as a director and a choreographer and an educator. So we are thrilled to have him with us tonight. So if anybody wants to ask a question, Tim, what should we do tonight?
Well, if you have a question for Eric, if you put it in the comments section below this video, we will get to some audience questions a little bit later on in the episode.
All right, so I can't wait for you to meet this guy. He's fantastic. Please give some big Broward Center love to the amazing Mr. Eric Sciotto.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Eric.
How's it going?
Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight, Eric.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're coming to us live from
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Boom, Utah. Awesome, awesome. So, we just wanted to hang out a little bit. You have had quite the amazing Broadway career, and I've been fortunate enough to have seen a lot of your performances live. So let's just start with the most recent Broadway show that you did, because it has a neat connection with the Broward Center. So what was your most recent Broadway show?
My most recent Broadway show was Something Rotten.
I love it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you were in the original cast, yeah?
I was in the original cast, dancing in the ensemble nonstop. And I also was one of the original covers for both Shakespeare and Nigel. And then I ultimately took over Shakespeare for a chunk of time.
I love it. And how long were you with that show?
Oh, I did the entire run of it, which is nearly 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I have a special connection with you with this show, because before we had to put everything on hold at the Broward Center, we were working on a production of Something Rotten Jr. And so one of the first people I called to help us with that production was Eric Sciotto. So back in January, you were here at the Broward Center and you got to work with the cast. So tell us a little bit about what it was like to visit this cast and work in a junior version of a show that you're so familiar with.
That was a super awesome experience. I've always loved working with youth anyway. And to take a show that I know so well and love so much and watch it evolve and be rewritten and changed to suit a younger audience and a family audience, I think it was just really exciting to be called and to be a part of that. I thought your students were so into it and invested and excited to be there. And it was just really exciting for me to bring a little bit of my own spin to it and to work with you guys.
Well, it was amazing. And the kids had such an amazing opportunity, especially the guy that plays Shakespeare, to actually talk to you and get your perspective and your help. And I may watch those rehearsal videos over and over since we've been in quarantine, because I miss
Send them to me.
I will. All right. So other than Something Rotten, I don't know if you want to go chronologically, order of favoriteness. So just give us a little overview of your career.
Sure. I made my Broadway debut in the Annie Get Your Gun revival with Bernadette Peters. That was back in '99, I think. Yes, '98. And then Aida. I was in the original Broadway cast of Aida. Sweet Smell of Success. Then I'm out of order. The revival of Sweet Charity, 42nd Street, Pal Joey, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I did Cry Baby, the Chorus Line revival, Rock of Ages, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. What a blast that was.
Fine.
And I know I'm missing some. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So in these shows, for all these shows, you were one of the primary dancers, right?
Yes, in all of them, I've done a lot of jobs. I was hired in an ensemble, and then I played roles on Broadway, or I covered roles on Broadway. I've been the dance captain, or a swing dance captain. So I've done kind of all the things that you can do, and I'm really grateful to have had such a big and varied experience. It's been a thrilling bunch of years.
I love it. So what's your favorite kind of dance? So of all those shows, I mean, you've got Tap and 42nd Street and Chorus Line, that iconic choreography. What is the one that you're like, you know what, this was my favorite?
It's asked of me a lot, and it's hard to say, but I have to say working for Wayne Sciotto is probably my favorite thing. Dancing his version of the Rich Man's Fugue in Sweet Charity and dancing stuff in Aida was new and exciting and thrilling, and a new way for me to think about it. And he really was very formative in helping me push past what I felt like I knew how to do. I was very, we all come from where we come from, and we learn the way we learn, and we bring our sets of skills. And it's great to have people that see in you something, but know they need to blow that bigger. And I really, I hope that I have learned a lot. That's my daughter's sparkle bracelet. I hope that I have learned a lot from each choreographer, and I've been lucky to work with some of them repetitively, like Graciela Danielle, who is just magnificent. But Wayne, my general answer for favorite stuff to dance has been Wayne Sciotto's Sweet Charity.
That's amazing. So you mentioned that you'd been a dance captain, and we have a question from one of our viewers. She wants to know, what is a dance captain? So tell us a little bit about that job.
What's up, Elaine? A dance captain is a person whose job it is to learn and know all of the choreography, all of the traffic patterns, all of the ins and outs of the entire show, all of the ensemble, men, women, all of the principals, all of it, and to oversee it, to understand big picture, and then to teach all the replacements and the understudies and everything and maintain it. Sometimes you can be in the ensemble and be the dance captain. Sometimes you are a dance captain who's a swing, which means you're off stage unless somebody is out. But then you see the big picture, you see where things are shifting and changing, and you pull it back to the original intent of the creators. How'd I do?
So that's perfect. That sounds like a busy job. It's like the ultimate, go this way.
It's hard and wonderful. And I think my personal progress of like being in the ensemble, then being an ensemble cover, and it just kind of started to be able to learn multiple things at the same time. And then it kind of evolved into then dance captaining. It's a lot of work. It's a big skill set to develop your own version of how that goes. And I was very challenged and excited to do it.
Very cool.
You also mentioned that you served as a cover. Can you explain that role to our audience, and what was it about that role that challenges you and excites you?
So yes, a cover is kind of slang for an understudy or a standby, and those have little different delineations. Normally, if you're an understudy, you're in the show somewhere, and you understudy a bigger role or a different role, or many. If you're a standby, you are normally off stage unless one of those principals goes out, and then you're on stage. And then if you're a swing and a cover, that means like I would stay off stage, I'd know everybody's jobs and cover some principal roles. I love that job. It's super hard and super challenging and super wonderful. And it has given me a chance to do lots of different things. And I like to have my brain challenged and my perspective challenged on that. I have very often been in the show and then covered the bigger role or a bigger role, and have gotten to go on a ton for all of those. And that's a really thrilling and exciting moment. It is absolutely the most terrifying and wonderful thing. And it can be really unnerving. And then eventually you settle in and you get to know your version, and it honors the show and it honors the work, but you make it your own. And generally the casts are really excited in a long run when different understudies or different covers go on, because of course we're trying to give the best version of the same show to the audience, but we all know there'll be nuances and differences and versions, as I like to call them, and it kind of wakes everybody up a little. And it's hard to do a long running show 8 times a week for months and months and months and months and months on end. It's hard. It's awesome, but it becomes a very challenging job.
So most recently, I am fascinated with one of your most recent shows, not really a big dance show that you did. And I wish I could have seen you. This was in Chicago, right? Recently, right?
It depends on what you're talking about, Tammy.
Speaking of the light in the piazza.
Yes, that was, oh my gosh, what a thrilling experience that was. A company had put up a opera touring version, if you will, of Light in the Piazza starring Renee Fleming. And it had played in London for a chunk of time, and then it went to LA for a chunk of time, and then they were trying to move forward. They were doing a Chicago. I believe it had plans to go to Australia soon, and then come back and hopefully go around the States. And I was called by a casting director in New York that had known my work and cast me, thank you, many times in life, and said, hey, they are interested in having you play the role of Giuseppe, the brother, in Piazza. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because of course I saw the original Piazza. Kelly O'Hara is one of my oldest friends since college. And what a beautiful, beautiful and challenging piece. And I had known that show, and Michael Burress just killing it as Giuseppe. Like, how brilliant is that? And so it was a show I knew about, but never really thought I'd end up doing that show. So it came out where it was a thrilling piece of timing with my new university job. I was able to do it. It was challenging and thrilling to be in the room with these amazing people. Most of the cast from London, which was just glorious. And then Renee. It was hugely exciting and challenging to speak only Italian, to sing mostly in Italian.
Wow.
Almost he has a teeny little dance feature, but it's not about that.
That's amazing. Hey, we've got somebody watching who got to see you. Liz is out here. She got to see you.
Liz, how are you?
I love it. So this was amazing Broadway career. So tell us a little bit about where it all started, Eric. Tell us where you're from and what was your journey from where you started, and then how you got to the Broadway.
Okay. I grew up mostly in Ohio through grade school, and then we moved a bunch, and I ended up in Erie, Pennsylvania. But from a young age, I loved movie musicals, thanks to my father. And so I knew who some of these people were, and I watched Gene Kelly, and I watched these musicals, and I was just like, that's what this is. This has to happen. And I would run out to my garage, and I would stick a mop in a single roller skate and make a dance partner, and I would do routines all over the garage. So eventually a family friend said, you got to get this kid in some acting classes at the local community theater, which was the Players Guild of Canton in Canton, Ohio. So I went into community theater classes there and started doing as much community theater as I could. We moved. I ended up in Erie, Pennsylvania, and immediately got hooked up with the Erie Playhouse, which did huge things for me, and all these experiences and exposure to all sorts of different types of musicals. And some of my lifelong friends are from there. And so I did as much theater as I could there while going to a great high school that really focused on the arts, Mercyhurst Prep in Erie, Pennsylvania. And then eventually I went to Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music, also known as CCM, and I got a degree, and then I went to New York.
Boom. So how soon after college did you get into a Broadway show?
Kind of fast. I had booked some summer stock work for a second year at Music Theater of Wichita, which is a fantastic training ground for young aspiring artists. My gosh, just one of the greatest places to be. And I was there doing 5 shows in 10 weeks. And prior to that, I had auditioned for a national tour of Chorus Line and got it. So I ended up having to leave Wichita before the final show. And I went back to New York and I started rehearsing a Chorus Line for Bjork Lee and Michael Gorman and Fran Liebergall and all the originals. Not all the originals, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Coordination in that. I came home, I did another regional gig, and then immediately booked Annie Get Your Gun, which was thrilling turnaround, just like a whirlwind of everything I ever wanted just happening really fast. It's true. That's
so cool. So talk to us a little bit about when you were doing Broadway shows, the 8 shows a week. I mean, how glamorous was that life? Like I want you to talk to us about your amazing family and what it was like, juggling being a dad and being in a Broadway show.
Well, the order of events was Broadway for a long time first before I became a dad. It was fantastic and glamorous. It was everything I wanted. It was New York City. I was working. It was great. It becomes really challenging, and sometimes your whole day becomes about making sure your body is okay to do the show that night.
Right.
So it can be the whole idea of like, oh, we do a show and then everybody goes out and it's fun and you don't care, and that's not really real. I mean, the expectations on us are very high. It's super athletic. It's super hard. It's tons of PT. It's maintaining. It's class. It's the gym. It's voice lessons. Because when you do the repetitive thing constantly, you wear yourself out disproportionately. There's a lot.
Mhm.
And so, yes, it's glamorous. And I remembered every night, like, this is the thing I've always wanted, you know? But it was also very challenging. And you miss a lot of family things. You miss holidays. You miss going home during all the fun times because your job is super primarily to entertain everybody else while they're out having a great time.
Right.
So that became an interesting balance. And then my husband and I knew we always wanted to have kids, and we had moved out to New Jersey. So then there was the commuting aspect, and then we had kids, and that's been the best thing ever. They're now about to go into 6th and 3rd grade.
I can't believe that.
I know, I can't believe it. And that became hard because I would commute into the city, and because of the crowding and stuff, the commutes got longer and longer. So just to go to work, I would leave hours and hours ahead to make sure I could get there. And I wasn't putting them to bed like ever. And it just felt hard because it's the thing I always wanted and the thing I always wanted. And it became really hard to keep that up.
Right.
I talked about, can we move back into the city? So we're right there, you know, a lot of things, but we also, David had been a Broadway performer for years and had also worked as an assistant for years. And we'd done a lot of things. And so at some point we said, you know what, I think we might want to start looking in other places and other ways. I had always wanted to direct and choreograph. So I had already branched out into doing that in New Jersey for high schools like Saddle River Day School and St. Joseph Regional. And so I was able to do these big shows and helm them and direct and choreograph them while still maintaining a performance career to teach myself and to learn. And that balance became really tough as well. And so then we started looking a little differently. And my husband got hired at the University of Utah as the assistant professor of musical theater. And I said, you know what, let's do that. And, you know, I worked a lot from airports. I would fly around and direct, fly around and perform, do a concert, teach here. And I said, nobody seems to care what airport you're from. So we went for it. We moved to Salt Lake, and then the university hired me to teach as well as an adjunct. And it's just been a spectacular change for our family.
That's so exciting. So tell us a little bit about you transitioning into directing. That's when I had the opportunity to work with you as a director. And so what is it about being on the other side of the stage that really excites you and really challenges you?
I've always loved big picture. Even when I was in something, I seemed to try to observe all of it. And I really watched what the director was saying to everybody else. And I love the art form. I love the performing arts. I love the way we get to tell stories and affect people, whether that's simply to entertain them or to make them think about stuff. You never know what someone's going through in that audience. And I'm thrilled to be a part of that art form, but my burning desire to perform was waning, but I never wanted to not do it. And so I also had a lot of ideas. And every time I was doing something, I was like, oh man, it could be this way, or it could be this way. You know, there's validity to lots of versions and ideas. And so I knew that I wanted to try to make that. And also I loved working with people and trying to pull more out of them. That was very exciting to me. And so through a turn of events, I was able to do our Aida together. And that was really that's when I knew I had to do it. I was, for all intents and purposes, trying to reset as close to the Broadway choreo on 40 kids, right?
Yeah.
To take a thing I knew and try to reinvent it for people who were not professional dancers. And this was tough. So that was kind of a thrilling challenge. And to watch those kids have breakthroughs was absolutely thrilling. Not right now. Thank you. And sorry, everyone.
I love it. Real life. They can come say hi.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
no, we were talking about with the kids in Aida, how cool it was to see them get it.
And you would see like one of them, just a spirit like take over and just tears. And they would just click at different times, and that was very thrilling. So I knew I wanted to phase out performing, but that was my primary income for our family. And I was like, how do I change and learn, but also not give up the thing that I love and need? And so then this opportunity came up in New Jersey out of the blue, and I was like, let's do it. And as soon as I got that first directing job at that school, Saddle River Day School, plug, I also got Something Rotten, and I was like, oh no. So we redid the rehearsal schedule to to get most of the show done before I went into rehearsals. And then for 5 years, I stayed at that school and juggled back and forth and did 5 musicals and 3 plays, I think. It was thrilling. So I got to try my hand at a lot of things that I thought I knew how to do. And I confirmed and I learned how to communicate, and I learned how to take kids and be like, you can do this, and drag it out of them. And I just feel really honored. And then since then, I've also gone out to regional theaters and both directed and choreographed or just choreographed. And it's been the job I've always wanted. So it's really been kind of fortuitous that it all went down.
That's great.
How would you say that your performing career and experience informs your directing style or your approach to directing?
Yeah. How to explain it fast? I do think that in addition to big picture, I then insert myself into every role and point of view, because that's what I know how to do by swinging and understudying. So I really always think from everybody's perspective and then try to marry that in a way that tells the best version of the story that I think we can tell. I don't know. I've worked with lots of directors. Lots of them do that. Some of them are very big picture. Some of them are very micro nuance. And I just think that I've taken things that I've learned and seen from all of them and just like mushed it together. And then as an actor, knowing what has inspired me or pushed me and what has not worked. And I just try to remember that I'm them also. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not just like, no, I direct, but I am of those people and I understand it from both perspectives, hopefully. I'm not perfect. I'm learning. We all are, right? But it's been a really great experience so far. And I generally have heard great things from people because they just feel seen and they feel understood and they feel like oftentimes an ensemble is dismissed as unimportant. But of course, I don't think that. It is the most important backbone to push and to frame out everything that happens. And so, I don't know, I hope that I am able to bring value to everybody's perspective.
Well, I think I've had the privilege to work with you. And that's one thing, especially in working with kids. You come at a student ensemble with the same expectation and the same passion as, you would a professional group, because you're there to have the best experience and push them the most. So I've always enjoyed watching you work with the group.
Oh, thank you. I just think it needs to be important. Everything needs to be important, or why are we doing it?
Exactly. So let's transition a little bit into your new role as a fabulous educator out in Utah. So what's that feel like? And where do you have areas of focus stayed the same for you, or have you shifted? What are you bringing to the plate now that you're at a university?
Well, the University of Utah has a fantastic musical theater program that's been kind of getting bigger and kind of blossoming in recent years, and it's still ready to explode. What they needed at my time was an additional dance teacher for the musical theater department. So knowing my experience and everything I bring and understanding New York auditions and rehearsal rooms and how to push people, which is what I tend to do, they asked me to come on to teach the higher level of musical theater students so that we can go from a technique-based, important foundational learning and then take all of that and apply it to New York rehearsal rooms, auditions, fast rehearsal processes. Most of the time in a regional theater, you put up a show in 2 weeks, maybe. So it's trying to hopefully be the junction between technique, foundation, classroom, and how to apply it to the profession. So hopefully I'm able to impart that to my students. I push them really hard. I do like impossibly challenging audition days where I teach the stupidest, fastest, hardest thing as fast as possible and just see how it goes.
That's
and a bunch of them have come back and they're like, over this break, I went to this audition and I could actually follow it because of those crazy audition days. And so I think we have a lot of fun. I love to keep a laughy, fun room as long as the work is getting done. I love my students. I miss them deeply right now. Of course, we all got cut short and had to, go into some digital mode for the end of the year. But we kept going digitally and I miss them and it's been a blast. But dance has been my main focus. And then this coming year, they asked me to direct and choreograph their production of A Chorus Line. So I'm excited to do that. It's a show I've done for 30 years.
Wow.
From community theater to the tour, regional, revival, more regional. I've worked with a lot of those heavy hitters that have taught me the details and the importance of it all. And I hope that I can imbue that to the next group of people. And then they can go to New York and be like, I know all the original stuff and worked it hard. And it's not just something we threw up in a day. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get there.
That's amazing.
So you've worked, oh, sorry.
Ahead,
You've worked with high school students and college students. What are your favorite things about working, and maybe other ages, but what are your favorite things about working with the different age groups?
I just like that everybody comes with a different amount of stuff and a different amount of experience, and it doesn't really matter. We're all there to do the job as best as we can. And so I love trying to figure out the way in, the thing that's going to make the connection, especially in the younger people that don't have as much experience. It's a little more, you got to talk to them a little differently and pull more and explain a lot more. And often teach them basic new things that they don't know how to do. And then you're with professionals who just get it or know. And that's a different kind of relief, because you can be like, you know, that thing where this, and they're like, boom, and they just sell it to you instantly. And I like that I have gone back and forth in all of these groups, from high school kids, now college, who want it so deeply, and professionals in the regional theater, the hybrid shows where you have professionals jobbed in and locals. I mean, I feel really fortunate to have just worked with all of these people who want to do and love musical theater, which is what I want to do and love. It's who I am.
I love it. So this is the next question to piggyback on that. With all those experiences, with all, you know, as a performer in so many different Broadway shows, director, choreographer, teacher, what is your biggest piece of advice? Tim and I both work in the education department at the Broward Center. And you, like I said at the beginning, already got to work with some of our kids, and we were so lucky to have you. What would you say would be some of your biggest advice that you could offer to a kid who's watching tonight, who is like, yeah, I want to do that too?
My biggest piece of advice, and I've said it before, is to not forget to be a human. Know what's going on around you. Learn as much as you can about everything and everybody and walks of life, so that you can all bring that to what you're doing. I was all musicals all the time. I knew so much about all musicals. I forgot to be a person for a long time, and luckily it worked out. But as I got older and started to remember to have a life and to read more and to understand the news and to talk to people, the working actually got better and more interesting, because I had a different frame of reference. I had a bigger expanse. If you're just all rehearsal all the time and all work all the time, I don't know what you're bringing to it. So work hard, never stop learning, never think you're done learning, never stop pushing, but also don't forget to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy your life, and then bring that all together. And I think that stories will be told in better, deeper, more interesting ways.
That's amazing advice.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you know what, Eric? Our time is over.
No way.
That would go by so fast. I know. It's been, because you're fascinating and amazing. So
many people are saying hi. Hi, everybody.
Because do you see everybody? Let's see, who else? Oh, I had a question. Somebody wants to know, where can they get that shirt?
I don't remember.
What is it? I can't see it.
I don't know.
We'll find out, Michael. We'll let you know.
I don't remember. I'll find out. Okay.
Awesome. All
Probably
right,
like Marshalls? I don't know.
The best, right? All right. So thank you so much, Eric. It was such a joy to talk to you tonight and just hear about your amazing career, and also the amazing stuff that you're doing out there with your art and working with kids and working just as a creative force in this world. So I am grateful for you, and I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, everybody, and hear each other. Please hear each other, okay?
Beautiful. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
He was great.
That was really fun. Very
awesome. Cool. So, what do we have? I'm blown away. He's amazing. So tell us, Tim, what do we got coming up next week?
Oh yeah, so next week we have another exciting guest. We're thrilled to welcome Cindy Winters from shows like Hamilton, The Lion King, Motown. So she'll be joining us next week, same time, same place. So be sure to tune in here on the Broadway Chat Series.
All right. So in addition to our Broadway Chat Series, we still have a lot going on at the Broward Center tomorrow. We have Sing Along with me at 3:30. Also, we're launching some pretty exciting summer programs. We have 2 programs for kids. We have the regular summer camp that we have every year. But this year, Tim and I have developed something brand new. It is called the Virtual Broadway Intensive. And it's the week of June the 15th. It's every day for 3 hours, 9:30 to 12:30. It's going to be Tim and I teaching. We're bringing in a great choreographer buddy of mine, Michael Stanek, to do the dance. We're having a different Broadway guest every day. So if you are interested at all in that, please check out our website and check out our open house. We're going to have a virtual open house on Saturday. You could check us out at 10 or at 2. In addition to the kids shows, it's not only about the kids. We have a great adult program coming up called the After Work Players. That's also going to be done online all summer. It starts also on June 15th. That's going to be a busy day for me, Tim. And we're going to do a review, and it's going to be a show called The Show Must Go On. So those are 2 really exciting opportunities that we have coming up this summer, in addition to all of our regular online offerings. So we hope you can catch some of that, and if not, then hopefully we'll see you back here on Broadway Chat.
Yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, for your love, for your support. Thanks for everyone who supports the Broward Center, and a very special thank you to Bank of America for their support of Broadway at the Broward Center all season long. We couldn't do it without all of you. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we hope to see you next week. Have a great night.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.